Hey guys, this is Pastor Dave. Welcome to our midweek chat. I appreciate so much the two chats that Mike Williams did, keeping you up to date as to my condition when I had COVID-19. I appreciate so much everyone's prayers for Linda, our granddaughter Maddie who had COVID, and of course myself during our experiences with COVID-19. Praise the Lord, Linda's doing good. I'm recovering. Maddie is doing just fine. And this past Sunday, I preached for the first time since October the 11th. I preached both services, and it was just wonderful. I am so glad to be back in the saddle. I'm so glad to be back with you during these midweek chats. And I hope that I can be a blessing to you. The last time I did a midweek chat was last October. I kid you not, but my subject was on trials, and this was before I had COVID-19. The date on my laptop computer that is attached to that lesson is October the 6th, and I believe that I caught COVID-19 on October the 8th. Here's a paragraph from that lesson that I shared. Today my subject is trials. Now trials are common to all of us, but how we respond and react to those trials before a watching world has everything to do with Christian behavior that's effective or non-effective. We can all say that we have the trial of COVID-19 in our lives. I hope that your response to this pandemic season is one of trusting the Lord and not falling apart. Remember, your circle of influence may be watching. Now, something we should all remember is that nothing can happen to those of us who are God's children without passing by His throne first. Remember, Satan could only do to Job that which God permitted him to do. God has His purpose for our lives, and we need to respond to His purposes with the proper Christian behavior that's appropriate to that trial. People are watching. James 1:2 says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials." Now, how many of us can say that we fall within that category? How many of us can say that we really count it all joy when we have difficult circumstances that we have to go through? Well, Mike Huckabee shares something that I'd like to share with you. It has to do with count it all joy parties. He says, and this is from Mike Huckabee, "I know a pastor in Florida who used to have count it all joy parties every now and then. He so believed this verse that when he would face a difficult situation, he would call friends over to his house. He'd say, 'I want you to come over to my house for a party.' They'd say, 'Oh, is it a birthday?' No, he would say. 'You got a promotion?' They'd continue. No, he'd say, 'What's the situation?' They would finally ask, well, he'd say, 'I'm going through this incredibly difficult crisis right now, and I'm having a count it all joy party. We're going to celebrate the difficulty because I know that this difficulty is going to bring something of special value to my life. I don't know what it is yet, but I want you to come and count it all joy with me.'" Have any of you ever thrown a count it all joy party? I can't say that I have. Huckabee says I haven't either. To tell you the truth, it's tough to consider it pure joy because it hurts. Yet it's important to realize that unless we go through some test, we will never know what our faith is made of. With all the suffering, heartache, and loss that this COVID-19 season has brought to our nation and world, this season will pass. A vaccine, of course, is on the horizon. Praise the Lord. But more important than a vaccine, when this season is over, beloved, I hope all of us will look back upon it knowing that our faith did not waver and that we will be able to say with that pastor in Florida, we're going to celebrate the difficulty because I know that this difficulty is going to bring something of special value to my life. I don't know what it is yet, but I want you to come and count it all joy with me. Isn't that a great perspective that pastor had? I sincerely believe that my greatest days are ahead, and I hope that you too will believe that your greatest days are ahead too. We know we're closer to the coming of Jesus Christ than we have ever been. And I want you to know that when our local churches begin to start up ministries once again that have been put on hold because of this COVID-19, I hope that you will be ready to embrace your role once again as a servant of Jesus Christ in ministry in your local church. It's easy to get lazy. It's easy to get used to doing nothing. But listen, God has left us on this planet to make a difference in other people's lives with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And when those ministries begin to reopen, I want to encourage you to get back in the saddle. As we get closer and closer to the distribution of a vaccine, we can all the more realize that this pandemic is going to be history one day. And I want to encourage you to just be prepared to get back into the saddle to serve the Lord. I want you to know it was wonderful to be back in the pulpit on Sunday. That's where I belong. And you belong doing the will of God for your life with your spiritual gifts also. Until next time, God bless.